This episode is brought to you by cancel culture. Ooh, motherfucking cancel culture. My biggest problem with you is not that you exist, but that you're so inconsistent. I just don't get it. You canceled the King of Pop after he was already dead, but then you let the coochie coddler coerce his cock into the Big 4 or 5. You kicked the highest making black comedian out of the Oscars, but you couldn't get rid of the woman that writes about wizards? I almost thought I saw a turnaround. You got rid of the Empire singer. You canceled him. But then the pied pedophile piped up and piped around. And no, you didn't cancel him. He just went to jail for doing illegal shit. Why do I think the Fly Believer isn't canceled? Cause you niggas are still fucking dancing to Step in the Name of Love at your damn weddings. I mean, a lot of you will put on Ignition Remix before you put on Jesus Walks cause the college dropout wore the MAGA hat. What y'all need to do is cancel America. Cause if you go back 400 years in their tweets, you're definitely gonna find some shit you don't like. But I digress. Now let's start the episode.
Our sins and woes. Our sins and woes. Our sins and woes.
Welcome to episode 28 of the Our Sins and Woes podcast where a bunch of dumbass millennials talk about their dumbass perspectives, their dumbass opinions, their dumbass mistakes, and their dumbass complaints. I'm your host, Nelson. Thank you for joining me today. Shout out 795 Production.
We out here,
Gang. Every episode, every time. Shout out SoundCloud. Shout out SoundCloud and the SoundCloud listeners, because y'all about to be pissed. Starting with episode 30, we will no longer be uploading to SoundCloud anymore. We'll still be present on SoundCloud because that's where our plug of the weeks come from. So we still have to have activity there. But the audios for the episodes will no longer be found on SoundCloud because we'll be doing some migration. But you will be able to catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Deezer, Podchaser. What else is there? TuneIn, Podcast Addicts, Listen Notes, Player FM, Castbox. We're on everything that you need us to be on.
Literally.
Yeah, except SoundCloud. But due to some migration decisions, we are going to be moving off of SoundCloud. But we will still be present on there, and you will still be able to find the plug of the weeks, as they're always on SoundCloud. So you don't have to unfollow us. But you can always just go to yccentertainment.com/AdsenseWoes if you want to listen to Plug of the Week playlist.
Do that.
And all of our links for all the different podcasts that we're on is always accessible there. Shout out to Zazzle, providing our merch. We're always out here. If you're interested in merch, just go to yccentertainment.com. You can always find merch there. If you find something that you're not interested in, you can just leave a comment or a DM or something like that saying, hey, can you add this? Except headbands. Fuck you, Brandon Moore. We're not doing headbands. Shout out to Brandon Moore.
I mean,
but
it'd be nice. It'd be a nice little addition.
Old dad shit, man. Old dad shit. But as far as shout outs, that's all I got. I'm going to introduce my guest. FranktheHost.
What's Goodiopolis?
NonPareiL.
What's good?
Yeah.
This is big because other than Pit Rose, I haven't had another host on the show.
Gotcha.
So personally, I'm interested in seeing where this goes. But with everything that you got going on, FanSwap, y'all are moving.
Yeah, it's my baby, man. It's moving, man. It's becoming with the team, partners, everybody.
Yeah, y'all look like the Hamilton Broadway cast.
It's just like
That's wild.
There's so much diversity out there. Y'all literally look like the Hamilton Broadway
But
cast.
still in synchronization.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
Like,
beautiful.
you know where to step and not where to step.
Exactly.
How the fuck did that start? Like,
all right. So a year ago, I started with a whole nother crew, and actually, we were supposed to only do one show, and we ended up doing 36 shows. We were supposed to only do one. So like people started getting interested in it, started to bring some different artists in, and a lot of people that I knew or that I heard, and so it became a thing. So people wanted to be on the show. So when we stopped, around last year this time. I wanted to bring it back, but I wanted to bring it back with steroids.
yeah.
So with that being said, like we did the What Next rally out of the Manassas Prime line.
Right.
And everybody was talking about their dreams and goals and stuff like that. And I'm like, I had just wrote down, like, yo, I want to bring FanSwap back, but I wanted to be crazy. I want, like, the bells and whistles this time. And so everyone went around the room. I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Da-da-da-da. And then they all looked at me and was like, yo, what do you want to do? So I got this concept called FanSwap. And I said, yo, I want to bring it back, but these are things that I see. And I had it in different parts.
So FanSwap the concept and FanSwap the business were two completely different things. Yeah. Like you're saying you wanted to bring back this, how do I sound like being stupid? Like the swapping of fans. But you wanted to bring back like the FanSwap ideology, but when you created that company called FanSwap, it was different than just the concept of swapping fans.
Yeah. So it is different. But then again, it's not, because the whole concept of FanSwap.
You just want to bring it back stronger.
Yeah, I want to bring it back stronger. But everything, it's not just music, because FanSwap came from music. But I want to do with entrepreneurs, influencers, and
anybody that affects the community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for the culture to the community, the culture and the community is strong. We got so much stuff out here, you know. So I wanted to be sure I want to bring people in, but I wanted the culture to know that we do have best-selling authors that are right here. And then we have so much talent here. So I want to bring them together. There's a thing that, you know, as an artist, we don't get together. You know, it's like they got this pocket of artists over here and this pocket of artists over here. And I wanted to be the bridge, you know, or FanSwap to be the bridge to bring those artists together.
You want to be a gang affiliator.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wait. You said exactly too fast. Yeah. But no, I get it. Nah. And that's dope. It's because it's about like, that's what YCC Entertainment is about. It's about creating that network. Like each individual person can be as strong as they feel by themselves. Right. But how much more can you build when you start to conglomerate?
Exactly. It's crazy because I just heard somebody say, you know, I'm only as strong as my team. And I'm like, no, the team's only as strong as you.
Facts. Because your team is only as strong as your weakest link.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's about what you bring. And the fact that you believe in a culture where, like, I see what you do. I see what you do. Why don't y'all work together? You don't got to. No, come on the show. Now y'all FanSwapping.
You gotta have. I think at this point in my life, I realized you gotta have an eye for that kind of shit though, because you need to. Some person not gonna see what they can do with another person, but then when you see two people together, you be like, I can look at y'all and be like, oh, y'all work good together, and y'all might look at each other and say like, fuck this dude. But like, I mean,
every day I wake up saying that to Frank.
I mean, I feel it.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to 795 Production.
You know, dreadhead guy, light skin, green eyes.
Hey, he think he's slick, but I saw him look in the camera like real quick.
He was trying to show off his eyes.
Smiling too, pointing at you, yeah.
But what's crazy though about it is because even like around the West next time, you know, me and Frank had worked together on stuff before that.
Yeah.
But at that point, we had the similar, I'm not going to say the same vision, but a lot of things we wanted to do in the community and just in general, we like, yo, like we can do this.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? And it was a next level bond and trust through that time period that allowed us to reach this new level of unity and collaboration that you can't collaborate with anybody. I mean, I've been in the studio with producers, rappers, singers. It's a certain type of chemistry that's unspoken, you know what I'm saying, that you kind of just, it has to just be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it's for, like, I think for the best content that comes out today, it's like, there is that chemistry. Like, you see, if you think about, like, a lot of the Vine, the people that came up with Vine, and a lot of people that are dropping the YouTube skits, like, they're the same, like, they're all in their same elements. They'll drop their own content by themselves. But then when they come together, it's always, like, the same groups, because you can tell when they're behind the scenes, the chemistry meshes well. And I think that's what it's big about. Because I'm be honest, I'm horrible about like team building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm garbage at
it. That's my thing. Like I pride myself on building good teams. For 15 years, I've built great teams. For me,
it's only because like people are looking for their end. Like with YCC Entertainment, it's not about me at the end of the day. 795 knows it's not about him at the end of the day. We looking at what can we provide other people, a platform. what can you do with that platform? Well, shit, I mean, at the end of the day, it's your own business. But we hope that you would be trying to provide other people with the same opportunities you were given, which is what I try to do with YCC. I'm trying to give people the same platform that I have. Because my whole thing is, it doesn't take a lot of money to build in 2020.
Right.
Like, it doesn't take money to build. You just, if you got a fucking working phone, you don't even have to have a cell service. If you just have a working phone, take your ass to Walmart, take your ass to Starbucks, hop on the fucking free Wi-Fi, just record something.
It takes consistency.
It does take consistency, and that's what a lot of people lack.
Yeah.
It's like, if I don't feel like this is worth my time, after not filling out or figuring out whether it's worth their time or not, they'll instantly be like, nah, I'm good.
So that separates too. Like, I think vision is one of the things that really keeps you, driven.
Foresight.
Yeah, like you really kind of gotta see it. Yeah. Like for FanSwap, okay, everyone's talking about doing a podcast. I have a podcast. I actually took my podcast off recently, but I was like, I don't want a podcast. I want a TV show. But
Your introduction on I Got Something to Say was the dopest shit.
That jump was wild.
It's your man Frank the host, and I got something to say.
I got something to say.
What I said, you better listen up, yo. Yeah, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. But I saw this right here, and the vision drives, but it also connects the team together.
Yeah.
Like you can, cast a vision out. Like, yo, this is what I see. People are starting to like take it. Like, they're like, oh, I can see it. Let me grab onto it. Let's make it happen. And that's what really kind of like brings everyone together, like the whole team. Yeah. When you have like a clear vision of what you want, what you see, and I think like with FanSwap, I told everyone, this is like the new 106 in Park. Like, this is like exactly
on
that.
steroids and better.
Exactly. It is because we have some different elements that 106 in Park did, but it was cool. I watched the AJ and Free interview and how they came up with it. The 106 in Park, the same thing. I didn't know at the time that AJ and Free actually came up with the concept of 106 in Park. I didn't know that. I mean,
shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them. But it's they saw this thing like for the culture for the culture needs this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, everybody has a part to play in this thing here, but the culture needs like an
influence.
Yeah, influence, a platform, and to be able to endorse like other people. Like for me, like I'm big on bigging up in other people. Like, it's no problem for me. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't like me or whatever. I'm like, no matter what, that group right there is dope. You know what I'm saying? Oh, these people are dope. And I let them have the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do this. I've always been that way. And I think it's important, especially in the culture right now, because a lot of times we get beef or we don't recognize.
But people are not used to that, though.
No.
People aren't even used to, like, somebody to open the door for you. It's weird. Even right now, like, in regular life, you hold the door open for a lady that you don't know. She's just behind you. She might look at you like... She
thinks she have other intentions.
Right.
But it's people in general. Because, God, that sounded like I was just attacking women. I was like trying to find a way to attack women. Nah, that wasn't the case. Toxic. But shout out to my exes. But no,
Toxic Entertainment.
I was talking to Father Harris about that, and I was like, because a big issue for me is like when I see, I'm a high supporter of black-owned business. I am a black-owned business. 795 is a black-owned business. Y'all are black-owned businesses. So, like, I'm completely 100% without a question in my mind behind black business ownership. My problem with a lot of people that come in, this is not all black business owners, but the conversation of employment comes up. It's like, no, don't just treat, when you say like, hey, I got a black owned business, don't work for the white man, come work for me. I have an issue with that. It's like, no, I have a black owned business, I accomplished this, don't work for the white man, start your own business. That's what you should be saying, but that's never the conversation. So when you, people like us, basically, when you're trying to build or help people build their own platforms, that's the most important thing. Not just giving black people jobs. No. It's creating space for us to start their own opportunities.
But and it's something about, you talk about like our team, and it's about everybody fully being in their bag.
Cohesive.
Like you got 7 creatives in one spot. How does that not cause confusion? You have to be working in your own lane.
Nah, that would cause dick wars. That's really what it would cause. That's why that cohesiveness is very important, though. Because you have to find people who are like, yo, y'all all on like equal grounds. and everybody feels like they have something amazing to contribute.
And there's something
How do y'all
about
figure out
having
who's in
balance.
charge?
Yeah, well, because first of all,
Y'all are the Justice League without Superman being in charge. So that's what y'all are.
what we have is protocol. What we have is protocol. We know Frank is the creative guy. He's the juice. He's the liaison between everything working. You know what I'm saying? But some of us are just administrative. Like I come from project management and administration and just seeing that. So it's easy for me to just be in my lane. You know, Frank's like, all right, if I'm going to this meeting, you come with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Point blank.
You know, it's like that. You know, Kendra just sees things different. Everybody just sees something differently, and it's something about that. And when you have women working and intertwined with the men, it's some type of balance that's just unseen. It just happened because
shouts out to the FanSwap ladies. I'm saying, you know,
bro.
Shouts out to you guys.
Beautiful, amazing, smart, and beautiful. So to have 7. Yo, imagine working with 7 dudes.
Yo, that was pandering as fuck. That was so pandering. I mean, no, shout out to the FanSwap ladies. Because, and I told you that before. I keep up on, what y'all got going on. I keep up on your project. I'm horrible at social media interaction. But we'll get back to that because I'm pretty sure there's some smoke in the wind for that. But no, I keep up on y'all. And, the whole team is doing dope. But shout out to the FanSwap ladies.
But, son, imagine working with 7 dudes, bro. First of all,
it's a dick war. That's what
you right. It's crazy.
Colo with Los and Dre too.
Yeah, so it's
because at first it was just us two and Los.
Right.
And now Dre. We got Dre in there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Had to think for a second there.
How many dudes was actually there?
Yeah. But it's cool though, cause like I said, everyone, like he was saying, everyone plays their part. Everyone does their thing. Everyone's good. And I told him straight up on the team. I said, look, I'm not administrative at all. I can do it, but this guy right here and Kendra, they love doing this stuff.
Being at the table.
Yeah, so I'm like, shoot, let them do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna host. I'm gonna bring some different artists, connect with people, be in different spots, create. And it allows me to do it. But then he thrives on this administrative stuff. I ain't never seen no one like that before.
You'd rather be the guy that's walking up to the strangers being like, yo, spit 16, and he's the guy that said nah, fuck that, I'm in the boardroom.
Well, kinda, but then
he can do it both too.
Yeah.
But he really can. But administratively, he's
singer, rapper, writer, producer, songwriter. I did forget you got a long Rolodex.
Man. But I enjoy making sure things get executed.
Yeah.
That's where I thrive. I'm not great at documentation, which is where Kendra comes into play. Because I can be like, yo, we doing this, and she's like, okay, let me put it in a form so everybody can see it when we're not there.
Yeah. Your ass is I never thought of that.
Oh, you can actually put it on the computer?
What's an Excel sheet?
That's what I was saying, oh, okay. And they put it here, I'm just gonna text it here and let y'all put it.
Y'all put that in.
But they all on it. All of them. Then we got young dude Los. Shout out to Los.
Crazy.
We got Dre, he's our creative director.
Crazy.
Mad crazy. I mean, just
new addition.
Even if you just talk about it, he's like, oh, okay, and he just comes.
You can visualize it.
He'll see it.
Boom. Okay, cool. Shout out to Ashley. Bianca. I guess she named herself. She's co-host, but she's like her own person as well. She sees things. Her perspective is different.
Yeah. Which is what you want from a co-host.
Exactly. You don't have to see it my way. But she's definitely different. She will vocal. Sometimes she gets vocal. We talked about voting one time. She almost was about to kick somebody out the building. She wasn't playing voting. You're not gonna vote. I was like, oh shoot. Homeboy was he just sat down. He was like, okay.
Honestly, not when you say that for your place, even as the host for your place within FanSwap, you need a co-host like that. You need one that's gonna what's the word? Kick down the front door, basically.
Every once in a while, you do. For me,
because you have to be a little bit as a host and an owner. You have to be a little bit more conservative.
You do.
Yeah. So you need somebody that's gonna be on the equal playing field. That's a door kicker.
Frank, you are that guy. You think about it. He's like, yo, this is the creator, but he's also the guy that's like, all right, everybody.
You got it, yeah.
Because I'm not like that.
Because one of the things is like at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say this ain't a team thing, but your name means a lot on this. As a CEO, your name holds a lot of weight on it. So there are times where you have to be like, but like 795 can get off with saying whatever the fuck he wants in the background.
Exactly. But can I? Should I share what happens? I can't tell you everything that happened Sunday just yet. Or what's our last episode. But this is say.
Shout out to the election.
Yeah, shout out to the election.
Shout out to Manassas City.
It was interesting, you know what I'm saying? And so when I addressed the situation, in a calm manner, but the pit bull came out. You know what I'm saying? For the team, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be something else.
Yeah.
And so you have to you're right, you do. If I came off the stage and approached that situation aggressively, I think the team probably would have been like, okay, that's what's up. Like Frank's bought this, we bought this too.
But anytime something blows up, Frank is always the guy that can bring it back. Because somebody can, say whatever, and I'll be like, yo, we gotta do this. And then he already knows. He's already in there all right, so you bring it back to, you know what? At the end of the day, we love you. He's just, he's that guy.
Everybody else is punching this dude in the face, and you over here and give him a hug.
It's gonna be okay, you know what I'm saying? It hurt, but it's okay though.
Nah, you do need. But I'm gonna say this: it depends where you start. If you've never been that door kicker from the beginning, then you can't be that door kicker later down the road when you start manifesting your own. But if you always been a sinner and a woer from the beginning, you can get away with doing that shit later down the road. Like, even though YCC falls under my name, I can still roll with the energy that Our Sins and Woes produces, as long as anything else that comes out of YCC Entertainment doesn't exceed that.
Right.
So, if it's a little bit more laid back and it's a little bit more chill energy, then nobody's gonna say shit. But if it's as extreme as the Our Sins and Woes podcast, nobody's still gonna say shit. It's just if it's worse. Like, if we start doing that OnlyFans idea that I've been talking about for a long time, of rating the OnlyFans girls, we start doing stuff like that, then I would have to do that.
Right.
But if anybody else came onto ICC Entertainment and did that, it'd be like, all right, you gotta die.
Would still be a good idea for this podcast, anyways. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't do it on this podcast.
I know. I'm just saying, just to get an insight.
Look at cameraman. You gotta watch over the cameraman. They always ready to see somebody. They can't wait to see the photos.
He does that all the time. But when it comes with when Brittany Renner comes up in conversation, he'd be like, "Shout out to Brittany Renner."
So,
but whenever Brittany Renner comes up in conversation, he'd be like, "Yeah, I would love to record it. I would love to record this conversation." Like, you thirsty ass nigga.
I just want to see her defend herself because she's not good at doing it.
And he just want to see her in his camera lens.
Well,
exactly.
What's her name? Tiana Chunk's right in Maryland. She's closer.
Yeah.
If you ever want to reach out to her.
She's always traveling. There's that.
Yeah, he know the schedules and everything.
Nah, see, the trick about porn stars is you gotta walk in, you gotta introduce yourself with testing results, because they're actually surprising. Contrary to probably Leo recently found this out, but porn stars are the most proactive when it comes to testing results. Anybody else?
I would hope that they are.
Nah, sometimes I would hope that they're just out here fucking, fucking. And this goes back to the extremes of which I was talking about. Right. We're allowed to do this in us as well. So this is how we started off. So, there's no boundaries that get untouched. And that's my biggest thing about when it comes to this content world, it's I want everybody to know that Our Sins Woes is free speech. Mm-hmm. I'll say facts. This is something I explain to my parents because they don't understand lingo in 2020. But they'll hear me say, you say facts all the time, and you think that everything you guys say is right. It's no. That's not how slang works. We say facts, it's I'm in agreement with what you said.
Yeah.
Right. If facts doesn't mean that's 100% documented. Here's your scholarly article citation right here.
Exactly.
That's not what that is. Nah, facts. I agree with what you're saying. So, but at the end of the day, there's that disclaimer at the beginning. Dumbass millennials, dumbass perspectives, dumbass opinions, because it's just what we think. It's how we feel about certain situations. It's our sins and our woes, our mistakes and our complaints.
Right.
That's all. But I always want people to know that this is the space, especially for millennials that don't get that kind of space, because When does a millennial get to be heard unless he's being a fucking keyboard warrior on Twitter?
I agree. There's
yeah, man.
not a lot of places where to express themselves.
And to be I think it's important you say express themselves because they can be heard with what we want them to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But when they just express like really what they want to express, you gotta listen. Yeah. And you might not like everything coming out of your mouth, yo. Even us, you know, like we somewhere in between. I don't know where we at. You know, I'm not gonna say our ages, but I'm not 25. So
don't worry, your lowest level of millennial is 25, so you're good.
But it's crazy though, man, and I think it's important to just be an ear and let people, because that's how you can truly figure out where they're at and be able to help where you can or learn. We learn mad stuff from Los. He's 19, right?
Yeah, 19 years old.
So
oh, they definitely have something to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's always positive.
No,
Sorry, I'm such a shot. Shout out to Gen Z. Y'all my niggas.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta make corrections. But it's important how much you learn.
But it's and that's like when it comes to the nitty gritty, like what's being put on paper, what's being put out. But just the ideology, just the opinion, I'm all for it, bro. Just come on, just tell me how you feel about some shit. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm a counselor, but
yo, let me tell you, like, from these protests and stuff, I'm not trying to get like serious about it, but like,
oh no, have your energy.
Watching the protests, and I'm sitting there in the front lines talking to people, right? And I'm like, this culture, this generation right now is strong. Yo, and everybody's like, oh, you know, they're rioting, looting. And my opinion is that some stuff needs to be torn up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to break those windows. We do. And then sometimes we need to be the people who we gotta have the peace and we got to have the stuff broken up. We do.
Well, you know,
that's my feeling on it. I really do.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the people who are like the most destructive, the most educated, because the girl who stopped 66 and 95, she's studying to be a lawyer. And it's almost done. I'm
going to give you a yes and no on that. I'm only saying because, like, yes, I agree that people that are most destructive are the most intelligent, but I also say the stupid is just as destructive as the intelligent.
This is true.
And most times, like, you say, like, the person that's most destructive, I think maybe the first one. But the other ones that come that just want to see something, like, oh, all right, let me go ahead and bust this window open.
There's a difference between the looters and the rioters. I've been saying that for a long time. There's a big difference between the looters and the rioters. There are people who are fed up, want to fight.
Yeah.
Rioter. There are people who see destruction, want to contribute to the destruction, and take advantage of it.
Because now they can just be in the crowd and not go to jail for it today. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's cancel culture. But let me go ahead and just throw that out there because then I'm safe from what I'm about to say. Right. But you know what's funny about this whole looting rioting thing is it's literally it's a form of a Me Too movement, not the Me Too movement, a Me Too movement. That's what looting is in response to social justice issues.
Wow, I've never heard it put like that.
Not the Me Too movement. So Me Too, you don't come for me. I'm not saying this is y'all. Right. I'm saying a Me Too movement. This is like, hey, this affects me as well. Let me go ahead and hop on this too. But my end goals are a little different.
Yeah, it's true. It's like when he talked about, we need peace and this. I always say like, okay, even on your live, like a few months back, I'm like, yo, we need the Martins, the Malcolms, the Black Panthers, the Marcus Garvey. We need all of them. I don't think that one has a solution. I think that you need the collective in order to really inspire change.
Today's culture would rip apart. Shout out to Abba and Preach on YouTube. If you don't listen to those two niggas on YouTube, those dudes are hilarious. They're very socially informed and they have great content. Abba and Preach. But if this is a weird plug because they have like millions of followers. It's just a reverse plug. But they did a sketch on Martin Luther King doing the speech, the I Have a Dream speech, in today's climate. And there's just so many things that he would say and people in today's culture would tear apart. Like if he said all of mankind, well, people don't want to be considered mankind. We consider humankind. Or if he said little black boys and little black girls. Well, some of us don't. identify with
As
either or.
boy
So, like,
or-
yes, we do need more people like Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
But Martin Luther King would get torn apart if he gave a speech now.
That's the thing, yo. You can't worry about what they're going to think because they got something to say about everything.
Facts.
Like,
The problem is it's more people that have something to say that is affecting as opposed to the people that are not. When it came to the I Have a Dream speech, it was less people that had an issue with it talking.
right.
But the people that were in support of, they were the higher upper echelon talking. So, it depends. It depends what your fight is.
That's true.
I mean, fight your fight. Shout out to you fake feminist bitches.
Yo, we're here on behalf of FanSwap, so I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just seeing a whole lot of misinformed feminists or groupthink feminists that don't really understand.
That's what I said. The fake feminist.
Exactly, but
I might have added an unnecessary word to the end of it.
just as much as you're seeing it. I laugh sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. I laugh. Sometimes I'm like, that's for real. Sometimes I'm like, do you hear how outlandish this sounds?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Which is why I know. I got he was teetering.
I was over here like, you know what? FanSwap.
That's what you gotta do whenever you start teetering. You be like, oh, you racist.
The brand, right?
That's our version of your cancel culture.
Nah, I get it, and that's the thing. That's why, because y'all are here on behalf of a brand, so I don't knock y'all for that. Whatever representation you have, but at the end of the day, it is about like we do need to promote that free speech because at the end of when you're off of this platform,
Right.
you don't have no problem with going out. And when you're outside of the platform, that is FanSwap. You don't have a problem with saying whatever you feel, whatever you believe.
NonPareiL is very outspoken.
Jeez. Finding content creators. That's something I struggle with.
Okay.
How the fuck do you do it? It's the hardest. It's hard for me because when I try to bring people on, like, just think about the last 40 minutes of this conversation that we've had. I'm not, like, we've talked about FanSwap, but I haven't really asked y'all, like, what really got y'all motivated? What's got y'all started? What's your next steps? Like, we're here for conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just casual conversation. Finding a content creator that is about that because the most people that hit me up are artists. I'm not against artists. If you make songs, if you write songs, I know you're a content creator. I know you're a visualist. So then when you say, hey, can I come on for an interview? It's like, well, we don't do interviews. It's not a questionnaire. Like, there are times when...
Which I appreciate that. I want to make sure you let you know that. I like when you sent that to me. You don't do questionnaires. I appreciate that so much because I don't like questionnaires neither.
Yeah.
I give them out only because the team they wanted us to everyone be on the same page.
It's an interview.
I hate questionnaires
Because my thing about questionnaires is if I ask you, and I think it was episode 5 with Xavier Cloud. I kind of like opened up the episode with like, what got you started in music? And then like we got a little started into the conversation, rolled a little to a conversation. And then he said something about social media. And I was like,
Pivot.
let's dig. Let's see where this goes. And then we get into that and I'm like, holy shit, this nigga's a social media guru. Like, Xavier Cloud is a Twitter genius. This dude understands Twitter to a different level. But we got into that conversation. That's when I realized, like, yo, you could take a simple question and completely, like, rearrange the whole premise of your episode based off that question. But I can't walk into it saying, I'm just going to ask 30 questions and figure out which one hits home.
But first of all, though, I'd rather just have like 3 random topics that we can maneuver, because you can get off the topic, come back if you want, and just move. You know what I'm saying? But to have questions, you're looking for certain answers.
But that's what an interview is to me.
linear.
Like, people say, let's do an interview, and that tells me you want me to say, when did you get started? What made you do this? When did at what age did you see this?
But then you gotta do that every week for everybody. That's
far
why
from that.
we kind of switched gears and introduced the swap topics, which we get the group together with whoever 6 are on that day, and have the artists on there and now you have natural conversation.
Organic. I call it organic
Yeah,
conversation,
man.
because at the end of the day, all of us have a different perspective. And I'm
Facts.
like, we just throw this topic out.
They all dumb, but yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, millennials.
And so I'm like, let's just throw this topic out and let's see where everyone feels about it. And typically there's someone who's really passionate about that one topic. And then
Shout out to episode 10.
Yeah.
Shout out to episode 10.
Oh, what was that? What happened?
It Be Your Own People. It was me, Q, J Pat, Afia. It was a roundtable special. Xavier Cloud and Lewis. And we all did, it's a 2-hour long roundtable special on 5 different social issues. Police brutality, self-hate within the community, keeping wealth inside of the community. I forgot the other ones. But it was a roundtable special on 5 different topics. And just, first of all, it was a lot. It was just a lot to take on. But it's nice hearing so many different people's perspectives, and then you can sit in a group. And at the end of the day, we all like dap up, have a drink, go out.
And you learn, if nothing else, I don't have to agree ever with you. As long as I learn that there's a perspective out there, I can understand more people. You know what I'm saying? And I can get out of my little box in my little world where it's just what I think is real. You know what I'm saying?
But you gotta find that with people who are cohesive. Like, and this is the funny thing about the Arrison's Woes podcast is, like, we've probably, out of the 28 episodes, we've had 22, maybe 23 different guests.
Yeah.
We had maybe half of those people I've never met before in my life. Until they came onto the podcast. And a lot of, it's not like I go like, I don't really, none of those people have been like DM people. I don't think.
No.
Yeah. None of those people really been DM people. Like, they hit me up my DM saying they want to come on, and then they came on.
Maybe like 2 of them.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But a lot of those people I've seen out in public. And out of the people that I didn't know before, I've seen out in public. I've listened to them talk. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm a people watcher when I go out. So I listen to them talk. I'm like, oh, you know, somebody that I know, cool. Hey, you speak well. You feel like you're very passionate about certain situations. You want to come on the podcast? And then, like, the audience can never tell the difference. Like, episode 4 guest, Afia. I never knew Afia before that. I met her one time before that episode. Lewis, episode 6 guest. I met him one time before that episode.
Yo, you came to the open mic one night.
No, I came to the drummers beat.
Yeah.
That was at Geronimo's, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That was my first time meeting Afia, or that was my second time meeting Afia, because that was the day she invited me. Or the first time I met her was when she invited me. She said, hey, we're doing drummers beat, you should come. I didn't really talk to her at the drummers beat, but when I saw her hosting, I was like, okay, cool, maybe she should come on the podcast. And then I was like, all right, cool.
It's crazy, but that's kind of how FanSwap works, because out of everybody that's hit the DM to try to come, you know what I'm saying, nobody that we've had on has been a DM person. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like, and
funny, right?
it really, like, it's no offense to whoever's in the DM, because
Yeah.
Please keep hitting it up. You know, we come across great artists, but we just haven't been able to. There's so many people, bro.
Yeah,
So
and that's the
many,
thing. People
you
don't
know?
understand. Like, it's a backlog for people. Like, everybody thinks like, oh, let me be on your next episode. It's like, dude, I'm 10 episodes ahead. Like, I already know who my next 10 guests
Interview
are.
tonight, right now. I need
Yeah, and it's like, if somebody hits me up on like let me be on your episode, and we in the middle of some scheduling and shit like that, but I'm like, yo, that guest be good, I'm gonna have to push everybody back.
That's true.
And just push you back an episode.
And we've done that.
Yeah, we've done that many a times.
Yeah, we've so when it comes down to, like, bringing people in, I mean, we tonight on the way here, we met a whole nother group of people recording. We walked up on them. I'm like, I gotta bring them to the show. Like, it happens that way.
Yeah.
And there's so many people who really, they knock on the door. I mean, there's so many people. But then you got, like, people like Lucky Whitehead, to play for the Cowboys. You know, he said he wanted to come to he actually came to a shooting of ours.
The Rooter
and then,
special, yeah.
Then he talks about being on the show. I'm like, what? Yeah, you can be on the show. So we got that.
40.
But the content creators, though, let me tell you this. Let me tell you what I feel about the content creators. How do you get content creators? First and foremost, I think the best thing is that, it's my opinion. First of all, I don't really care if you take my fans or you come in here and you overpower me. I'm like, it is what it is. I'm still Frank the host when I leave here.
Facts. Yo, that's the most sad in the last 3 episodes.
What host say? I was what I was before I got here. You know? Before you came across me, I was me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yo.
it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, like, hey, you know, so I think that when you you get into these content creators, you really have to be able to say, oh, man, do you?
Yeah.
And not be scared. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, like, oh, man, they might take my fan. Like, listen, there's so much out here. You're not taking.
That's insecurity.
You're not gonna take it, but that's
Bro,
what
is
it
fans
is.
taking a thing now?
Take my fans?
Yo, people.
Hey, bro, first
people
of all,
feel like you gonna take their stuff.
I don't even like using the word fan unless we're saying FanSwap. That's number one.
Yeah, okay,
Two,
I got you.
we don't have fans.
Does audience work? Because I say audience.
I like audience, or just people that just rock with you.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, these people rock. Anybody that, like, because sometimes, like, when people see the word fan, they feel like it's an inferior thing, and it's not. You just support something.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. You know what I'm saying?
But when you saying like that, so
A donator is a fan.
Right. Even a sponsor.
Or a sponsor,
Sponsor
exactly.
this show.
Because once you say something that a sponsor doesn't like, they stop sponsoring you.
Exactly.
Because originally they were a fan of what you were doing.
Right.
So,
Not a fan of that anymore, sir.
right.
but it's definitely like, you know, that when it comes down to that, people do like feel like, you know, you better come and take mine. I'm like, nah, bro.
Man, I
don't
don't.
care.
And that's what.
Like,
See, my biggest thing is I don't like. I like. I don't mind. I can't say I don't like, but I like having people on the guests, but they have their own platforms, and they be like, "Yo, when you don't come through," I'm like, "It's not a big deal to me. If you
Right.
want me on, okay, fine, I'll work out something." But it's not. I don't push for it because I always know my platform is a little bit differently than a lot of other people's platform because. FanSwap. That is me protecting you because of the That's what I'm saying. Like it's all free speech over here. That's why.
Okay, so here's a cool thing about FanSwap. Yo, shout out to everybody on FanSwap.
I'm not dogging you guys out, by the way.
No, that's cool.
Okay.
The cool thing about FanSwap is that I have this. So one day I'm gonna have all of us on the same show, and everybody just stay themselves. Like that's the beauty of FanSwap because. I don't expect you to be Frank.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting you to be you and and what you bring to the table because it's gonna convey. Because at the end of the day,
they're not gonna lash out at you.
No.
They're gonna lash out at me. If I come out and say if I come out and I'm the wild card of the situation, shout out to Xavier Clark because it was definitely my wild card in episode 10. But if I come out and say the wild card shit on this FanSwap of a bunch of different platformers. That come together, they're not coming for FanSwap. No. They're coming for me.
And even if they do, here's the thing: who cares?
Facts.
People be like, you know, okay, for music, like I like Jay-Z, like, but I like Jay-Z and I like Chika, okay. But people are like, I don't even know who Chika is, but I do like Jay-Z. You have your opinion on whatever, but you still can be a fan of either or if you decide. So if that makes any type of sense, what I just said. But at the end of the day, we all have like. It doesn't matter what you say. Like, I'm not. If you come at me, I'm like, okay, bro. Like, it doesn't even matter if you come at me or come.
It really doesn't.
Because there's people who really mess with whatever you say. So I believe that in FanSwap, like, yo, you do you, because there's gonna be people who like what you're saying.
But the whole point of like, and that's the most amazing thing about the idea of FanSwap is the whole premise behind just the name alone is swapping fans. You have a group or audience. Based around this person's movement and ideology and interactions, and you're swapping it with a person that has a completely different movement, ideology, and interaction, and then you're just intermingling. So the idea of FanSwap, just alone, is dope. It really is fucking dope.
And a little more content to that is that FanSwap really happened when. A rock band and a rap group got together. That's when it first came together.
Collision Course with Linkin Park and Jay-Z.
Yeah. You got it.
I'm hit.
So you have that. That's a true FanSwap.
Yeah.
So if you think about alternative rock music and rap music, they don't mesh together.
I'll do you one before that. Aerosmith and
Run DMC.
Yes, Run DMC.
That's a true FanSwap. Like,
that is a true FanSwap.
So
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked. Effective as fuck.
Very effective.
Because that was the only time you were gonna get black music on Guitar Hero 3. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're right. You're right.
But then they came out with DJ Hero after that, though.
Cultural
good.
appropriation.
We all went to the rock band because it had drums.
Cultural appropriation. I'm kidding. DJ Hero is not cultural appropriation.
Not today.
But the little kick on the Rock Band 2, that might have been.
Just a little bit.
But no, yeah. No, you're right. Like when you think about that, it's like that's a real meaning of FanSwap, and it was like no ill malice towards people. Fuck with people in the Linkin Park community now. Fuck with Jay-Z. People in the Jay-Z community now. Fuck with Linkin Park. I'm not gonna say all time Linkin Park fan, but ever since Hybrid Theory, I've been a fan of Linkin Park. Yeah, Midnight Madness is something. But once the other Transformers movies, I was like, yeah, these aren't what you used to be. Yeah. But I probably would have never, and it wasn't Jay-Z that introduced me to Linkin Park. It was the fact that my community was listening to Linkin Park because of that ingenuity, and that's how far it stems out. That's the crazy part. It's like you have one artist, you bring him on, y'all swap fans, but then one of his fans shows another 60 people about your content. So yeah, shout out to that. And you're gonna have 60 people. Out of the 60 people, only 40 gonna fuck with you, or shit 10. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. There's 10 more than what you already had.
Exactly. I always look at that like what? Because let's say you got 10,000 followers. Only 1,000 is really following you for real. So I never bank on more than 10% of people that I see numbers with actually lining up.
You have to, because that's how the algorithm in Instagram is based. So you have to hit the 10%.
If not, nobody's gonna see you.
So yeah, man, that's to me like right now we need more content. We got to be able to share each other's platform because that's how we survive too. You know what I'm saying? Like this is needed. I need to come here. Y'all need to come there. You know, our people need to see each other. Like, especially the culture. I feel like the culture. We need this again. Yeah. You know, we're collaborating and doing stuff together in the culture and the community. Because I feel like in the culture too, we write this narrative like we can't work together. And I'm like, I don't know. I think the narrative's been written. I don't believe that it is.
It's not implemented anymore. I don't think the culture, I think it used to be that way. I don't think, like label beefs. I don't think label beefs are a thing anymore. I think a artist beefs with a label, but I don't think an entire label, like in today's culture, like when you think about these artists, I think one artist will beef with a whole label, but there's never a time where like the entire label is beefing with the other entire label. It used to be a thing though. Yeah. 10 years, 15 years down the road, it'd be some niggas that like one record label was not fucking with. They weren't fucking with that other record label.
Yeah, it's true.
But now it's like, that one artist, because he's popping, they got another artist that's popping. They will FanSwap.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's literally what it is.
It's a smart idea.
It's 100% a smart idea.
Yeah, it's a smart idea. You gotta look at it like that way. But there are times where it's like, no, this is a smart idea. Like, it's legit. Yeah, because right now, with the way everything's moving and it's fast.
It's about adaptability. The word is the worst case. That goes back to that conversation about when it comes to building a team. My problem is like a lot of like people that want to be involved, they're not looking at the same things I'm looking at. Like I can sit here and say like I have this conversation with old heads on like social media all the time. Some old head will come in and say, oh, well, you should do this, you should do that. And it's like, yo, you're not my target.
Yo, I don't want to hear no old head give me advice about marketing or branding in 2020. That's all I have to say about that.
I'm not against that. Because some of the people that follow me are producers. They are marketers. But within the realm. So you gotta dive a little deeper than that.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you are an old head and you're telling me about my content and how I can better market my content or how I can better appeal my content, and you're not the target audience, that's where I have to blow what you're saying out the window.
There you go.
If you're 63 and you're telling my millennial-based podcast suggestions on what we should talk about, I'm like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what you said and talk to a millennial about that. Like, female. Oh, my favorite word. Female was a big thing from episode 11, 12, 13, 14. It was a couple of episodes where female was a big talking point because so many people had an issue with the word female, like being used instead of woman or girl or chick or whatever.
People care about
Hey,
stuff
FanSwap.
that don't matter. It's like
I'm interested to hear what was said.
remember like the whole thing
Oh, because
about,
I say this just because I say female, but 795 says I say female like I say bitch, and I'm like, nah, it's just the context of the situation. Like I generalize people. If I don't know you from a fucking can of paint, I'm going to call you female.
I like female, and I think.
But
it's
there's also a
appropriate word.
background and a history of upbringing, which would create a basis as to why I call people female.
Yeah.
So that's very important, or that's very important to the context of the conversation. But no, female was a very big issue, and that would, when it trickled down from old heads, I would get two sides from old heads. I get like some old heads like, I fill out female on a job application. What are you talking about? Why would I care? And I had some people that would say, why don't you just say woman? Why would you say female? So the issue is when I have an old head say it.
It's the same thing.
Because I had a whole argument at like I was at a bar one time. I had a whole argument with a group of girls and one nigga about it. And you know how the nigga was ass chasing because he said, "Yo, you sound stupid. Just get out of here." And I was like, "Oh, you the one that's trying to stay off the couch tonight? All right, cool. Cause you the DD, so you trying to stay off the couch tonight? All right, I'm tracking. I feel you. All right, respect." But I take those conversations that I have with the older generation and I have them with the younger generation because you're not the target audience. But I'm not excluding what you're saying.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. It's like
Exactly.
I can listen to what an old head says and just not have the conversation with an old head. Or I can have a conversation with an old head and then use that as context or conversation with a millennial.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's not about like, talking with old heads about millenniality. It's millennials talking about their ideologies. So if you're not target audience, you're not target audience.
The thing is, and this is something that just came to mind, but some of our ideologies came from the old heads.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of like, put a new wrapper on it, and this is what we came up with.
A basis for it, but
I mean, you can't-
we stipulate a lot better, or we stipulate a lot better, a lot more than the old heads. If we take the framework of what the old heads create for us, we will teeter in certain situations because of our upbringing, because of the time that we're in.
I mean, they laid the groundwork for us. I mean, you can't move forward without knowing your history and your past. You know what I'm saying? You have to know that in order to effectively change in the future, and using the present in the future. So you have to learn from your old heads. But I wanted to ask, cause have you heard about the whole actor-actress thing?
Oh my gosh, that thing.
Yo, 795 just got real tight right now.
My man rode his neck.
He got so tight. No, what's the actor-actress
He
thing?
did a Rick Ross shoulder rub.
He did the Stevie J hand rubber with his shoulder with his shoulder blades.
Oh my goodness.
Nigga Stevie J hand rubbed his shoulder blades.
That's wild, son.
No, what's the actor-actress thing?
So there was a big push. I think now they don't refer to actresses as actress. Everybody's just an actor.
But some actresses still go by actress though. They're like, I don't really care. I'm still acting. I'm like, why does that even matter?
Who's making up these, like, to me, I'm like,
Bruh.
who's making up this stuff, like,
sensitive ass
let me think
people.
about something else that's not a problem. Like, to me, that's not an issue. Like, stop making issues that's not an issue. You
But
waste some time.
Look, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't make what you feel like is an issue not an issue. Because there are a lot of issues that people don't think are issues that we should be making issues. Like, I don't know, 400 fucking years of slavery.
That might. I mean, aren't we all, people? And...
Nah, it's 400 years ago. Why the fuck do we care?
Yeah.
But no, that's the conversation that people are having. But so I'm not gonna 100% say that, but come on, actors and actresses.
You see why I responded the way I did.
Now, this is what I'm hearing right now. Women are going to start saying that men should call them Mr. instead of mistresses. If you went from actor and actresses to all actors, you're going to go from Mr. and mistresses to all misters. I'd be damned if I call a woman my misters.
This is why I don't have extended conversations with those types. Shout out to like the women that just are cool with being them and just
the real feminists.
The ones that are really feminists for real, that ain't really just going against something.
FanSwap.
Over to you. We gotta go, yo. You know how I get past a certain time and you just start really talking on
That's bar energy. That's what that's called.
It's got everything about to come out.
That's bar energy. Fuck. What episode is this?
28.
28. For episode 28, plug of the week. It's actually going to my guy NonPareiL.
Appreciate you, man.
Dope ass track. It's called. Did you want to give any backstory or anything like that to it?
The song, well, so the track, it was my relationship.
Fuck.
It was
I didn't think he was gonna actually give a backstory.
Since you had me
No,
here,
go ahead.
and then I'll be back. But no. So Faye just came. I was in this, relationship that was in and out. When you know how you break up for like 2 years straight and you end up eventually breaking up. So
shout out to my exes.
yeah, they don't live in Texas though, unfortunately. Anyway, that's enough. All right, this is gonna be short. Pretty much, I was in a relationship. It was fairly long, but the last 1 to 2 years probably were at the end already. Anyway, I wrote this because I was kind of like in a space where like I was, I know this has to end. I don't know how to end this. I feel great about what we have, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Let's end it. Anyway, it's called Fade because eventually that's what happened. No.
She caught the fade.
She caught
from
the
next girl.
No.
Oh, and the relationship faded away.
The relationship
faded
away.
Oops.
She's great. She's beautiful. We're just not in that space anymore. Fade.
Oh, you're so humble. And for this episode, plug of the week, I'm gonna get this nigga my smoke off camera. Don't worry, y'all. Humble ass.
Bring me back.
Bring him back. Bring him back.
But Fade by NonPareiL. Make sure you check it out.
Sometimes I know I be in the way. Nowadays feeling like you walked away. I can tell, you can tell I'm about to fade. Sometimes I know I be in the way. Nowadays feeling like you walked away. I can tell, you can tell I'm about to. I can tell, you can tell I'm about to. It was like 7-something days and 2 weeks. 3 missed calls, we don't speak, but you're all on IG. Running through the city and running from your problems, dodging and ducking and dodging who you wanna be loving. Reporting live, this is coming straight from the bottle. And when I put this phone down, that's the end of the message. No more sessions, no more sexting, no more late nights. Hey, big head to always end with a question. Nah, no more stressing. I need peace, I need me to fall in love with myself again so I can be free. Wish you all the best, it won't be with me. I hope that this will be the last time where we don't disagree. And yeah, that's a double negative, I hope you agree. I left a little space so you could let it just sink in on your own terms, and I'ma let this end like, hey. Sometimes I know I be in the way. Sometimes I feel in the way. Nowadays feeling like you walked away. I can tell, you can tell I'm about to fade. Sometimes I know I be in the way. way. I can tell you can tell I'm about to.
Yeah.
I can tell you can tell I'm about to fade.
Never sang to me, but you still be the art to me. Used to be the heart I be, flowing like an artery, flowing like we ought to be. Yeah. You the better part of me. Hate to see you walk away. Wish you stay. Should've stayed. Maybe we should've prayed. Grass is always green until it's paid to lose the shade. Brighter days is yet to come. Don't fade away.
Please don't fade, yeah. I'm too faded. Turning pages. I'm too jaded. Constant changes. Please don't fade, yeah. To you I can't tell no lie. Masking what I can't disguise. Watch it like it's televised. I ain't singing lullabies. Lately you've been on my mind. Lately I've been showing signs. Dreaming you've lived in my mind. All we really need is time. Fade. Sometimes I know I be in the way. Sometimes nowadays feeling like you walked away. I can tell you can tell I'm about to fade. Fade. Sometimes I know I be in the way. Nowadays feeling like you walked away. I can tell you can tell I'm about to. I can tell you can tell I'm about to fade. Sometimes I know I be in the way. Nowadays feeling like you walked away. I can tell you can tell I'm about to. I can tell you can tell I'm about to fade.
Well, I can see you was going through some shit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Shout out to the 28th episode plug of the week. NonPareiL with the song Fade, dope ass track. It will be in the SoundCloud playlist. Make sure you check it out on yccentertainment.com/our sins and woes. It'll be some other slash coming in there soon, but just wait around. We building. We branding. Other than that, any positive notes? Anything else before we get out of here?
Hey man, peace, love, positivity. I think for the culture to the community. That's what we do. That's who we are, and that's the real thing that you can expect. Period. From anybody. You know what I'm saying? I just always believe in moving forward and rehabilitation. That's a plug. Album coming out December.
You slid that one in so
Real good. You know he's a rapper.
You had to tell us afterwards that was a plug.
Hey man.
And I still didn't catch it. that was
Rehab is coming out in December, and I believe in rehabilitation. Just people growing and not being shut off ever. Cancel
Facts.
culture, trash, rehab.
Get it.
Agree.
Yo, all right. So I'm positive. I just want to tell everybody if I had.
Wait, did you have something negative? You was like, negative about the positive.
It was hard to get there.
Negative. They're actors and actresses. Sorry, guys.
But positive.
You can write me. FranktheHost IG. Positive though. Like for real talk. I just want to. I always tell people, man, listen. Go follow your dreams. There's nothing that you can't do. So like when people like tell you can't, I remember like George Washington Carver, locked in a room with a peanut that came up with 300 different things from that peanut. Mm-hmm. And to me, I'm like, yo, there's nothing you can't do, especially in 2020. Right now, you can do anything that you want to do. So go get it. Like there's nothing stopping you. Go get it. Make it happen. If you need something, if I can do it, I'll help you. That's what I do.
Yeah, don't DM me. DM him.
You can DM me.
I will send you the link.
Like,
Just
legit.
say I'm here on behalf of the help, and I
Frank
will
the
send you
host.
his link.
And if I don't know, I'm probably someone in my circle that really does know. And so like I said, he said we're for the culture to the community, 42. And so we really are for the culture to the community. I want to see people really achieve their dreams and their goals, no matter what it is. You know, I mean, not everybody wants to do everything that I'm doing. Some people might want to own their own dump truck company or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is, I want them to do it. So I believe that you can do it. There's nothing stopping you. If we're doing this right now, that means you can do whatever you have in your heart. So go get it. If no one's told you, I want to tell you I love you too.
First of all, let's talk about
That's
how
my thing, yo.
he tried to act like he had nothing positive to say and just gave us mad scripture.
Because he wanted to get that negative
Like,
shit
I
off.
want to read Tay
That's
right
why.
now.
Because he wanted to get that negative shit off first. It's actors and actresses.
Stop making it complicated. Get confused. Yo, let me tell you something real quick. I know we got the end of the gym. I'm downtown. There's a girl or guy. He just, she just got
They.
Yeah.
Because humankind.
Yeah. So yeah.
And some people don't.
Yo, and yo, so
Identify as
He
either
said
and
he
or.
got transformed. That's what he said.
Yo.
FanSwap.
yeah, exactly. That's like a FanSwap.
Wait.
All right, yo.
That's true. Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, we love everybody though.
Them is downtown or at the bar.
Yeah. Period. They were like, hey, call me him and her. I'm like, him or he, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know, you know. And I said, yo, no offense, you know, I wasn't trying to like offend you and all, but I'm thrown off right now, and so you know, it's just it's really sometimes this stuff can be complicated. Give people grace and patience. Like, don't get offended.
That's a good point.
I feel like they were really kind of like getting offended. I'm like, how was I supposed to know? No offense, but they have boobs. I'm like,
yeah, you can't expect anybody to know unless.
how was I supposed to know? You know what I'm saying? And let you tell me. So I told him, I said, look, you know, much love.
I don't know why Frank just ended positivity, you know.
Hey, what if a woman was like, call me him, and you were like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And she's like, oh no, I'm not a man, nor do I identify as one. I just have hella toxic masculinity, so you're gonna call me him. Like with all that being said, to all my millennials, being your age is a sin, and no one wants to hear your woes. And to everybody else, this has been another episode of the Ass is a Woes podcast. Peace.
You know what time.